Hey, what is good, my pretty babies? You are checking out Lee Sanders here of the RCWR show, covering all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. Also happen to be a columnist for the 411 Mania website. Make sure you represent and you check that site out when you guys get a chance. So we're here doing a special edition of the RCWR show for this week, as regular programming I thought was going to resume tonight, because I was looking forward to talking about some of the stuff that went down this past week in wrestling, including going into this week and everything. Loaded up week we've had so far, but it looks like that's going to be postponed until at least at the earliest this Thursday night. I believe we're going to be coming on. We're going to try to see if we can come on Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, and we'll go over all the craziness that's gone down since last I was on the air with you guys talking all things wrestling. But this special edition of the RCWR show is going to be talking about one thing only. We're going to be talking about the Chris Jericho cruise. And I know that there were many of you guys that have heard for whether it be a couple of months, past couple of weeks, the week of, that I was going to be going on this cruise. And I know a lot of you guys, you wish me well, wish me to have a lot of fun and everything. A lot of you guys not able to go, thinking about going. I hope this review of my experience on the cruise helps you guys out tremendously. I sincerely mean that, because look, you're going to have some people that are going to just do a lot of fluff, and they're going to do a little bit of BSing around and everything. You know, this is the most honest, fair, constructive criticism, the whole 9 yards that you will come across. So if you find this to be most helpful by the time I'm done, make sure you vocalize yourself by leaving comments, sharing this piece all throughout social media, as it means a ton, and it definitely helps out. Word of mouth definitely helps out. Okay, so I was looking forward to this cruise, this third Chris Jericho cruise. This cruise actually was supposed to be going down in 2020, but as we all know, a little something called the pandemic had pretty much put a curb stomp to that bad boy. And it was unfortunate, because also in 2020, me and my now wife, but at that time my girlfriend, we were supposed to actually get married in 2020. But once we saw how all the craziness was just going down, we just said, yeah, you know what, that's okay. And then shortly afterwards, the Jericho cruise got canceled, and it was like, oh, that is not good. Okay, well, all right. So we actually had an option, because we had already paid for the cruise in 2020, and it was a case of, okay, all right, do we go on ahead and forward the money that we've already, because at that point we had about over 60% down, and we were ready to pay the rest of it, but then, you know, it got postponed and all that craziness. And so our options were pretty simple. It was either we forward the money to the next cruise, we let them hold on to it, and we just go on the next cruise whenever it gets scheduled, or we could have gotten a refund. And, you know, we pretty much had decided, nah, you know what, let's go on ahead and let's just do this cruise whenever it's going to be going down. So it's weird. That's the pandemic. I mean, that's what went down, right? So we fast forward to now and everything. And I got to tell you, this was my first time ever doing a cruise, period. Theme, just cruise in general, period. This was my first time doing a cruise. I'll tell you something else too. It was my first time flying. Yes, it was my first time flying. Now, I definitely got to make sure I include the talk of the flying as well, but I'll do my best not to be long-winded about it. I promise you guys. So we left out of the BWI airport, the Baltimore, the Baltimore Washingtonian International Airport, or it's also known as the Thurgood Marshall Airport. So it was a little bit cheaper, because it was either that or go do Reagan National, and Reagan National to Miami, it's more expensive. So shout out to those of you that's in the DMV area. You didn't do your research beforehand. Now you know, going for next time and everything. So flew out from BWI to the airport, to the Miami Airport International. And there, I got to tell you, once we got there, I cannot stress this enough. And that is, once you get to the Miami airport, if you try to get on your phone and you're trying to see about getting a hold of a Lyft or a Uber, it's going to be a very good minute. You know how normally, and shout out to those of you that do use Lyft and Uber, you know how normally when you're using it, it gives you a ETA once it's located a driver and pretty much, okay, you're rocking and rolling, right? Well, not when you're out there, and we tried for like several minutes to try, either app, try for several minutes. There was no driver within our vicinity, to the point we got a message that actually said, hey, it's, most likely going to be a while. Are you sure you want to even, go with ordering a Lyft or Uber? And, I said to my wife, I said, look, it is what it is. This kind of sucks, but we're just going to have to go on ahead and take a cab, man, because this ain't happening. This ain't popping. So right when we were about to get a cab, we get this Hispanic guy, and he's like, hey, you guys need a ride? You guys need a taxi? And we're like, yeah, as a matter of fact, we do need a taxi. And so he's like, yeah, come on, I'll hook you guys up. So we went over there, and I'm telling you the story for a reason. It's a whole experience. Everything that I'm saying to you, it all ties to the cruise, the overall experience. And then this way, at the very end, once everything is pieced together, you hear what I'm saying? You're pretty much going to know the do's and the don'ts. So all of this is very critical. So stay with me here. So he just had a unmarked vehicle. It was his own personal vehicle. It seemed like a black Explorer. Maybe a black SUV, pretty clean, very nice and everything. And, he asked us where we were going. We're like, oh, we're going to the Norwegian cruise line. We got aboard a ship. And he's like, oh, okay. Oh, you're doing the wrestling cruise thing, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay. I know exactly where that is. Okay. All right. And so we're driving and everything. Real nice driver and everything. And from there, it was like my first time seeing the sights and sounds of everything that was going on here in Miami. So I got a video. Yes, it's more than just talk. Yes, we actually have footage. I'm gonna roll that beautiful bee footage right now for you guys. And this is pretty much some of what I had saw as we were making our way to the Norwegian cruise line port, so we could do check-in and everything. And I'll just let that play. It only runs about probably like a minute or something, but it was very beautiful. And he was telling us certain spots of what we were looking at. I think at one point there was a baseball field that we drove past. I believe we also drove past where the arena where the Miami Heat plays. I'm not good with names of arenas of teams that I don't follow on a regular basis. But as you can see, it was kind of cool. It's kind of cool. See, there you go. Nice, another little angle right there. It's really cool. Just driving around in the traffic and everything. All right, so that was that. I'll let this play since it's almost finished here. And yeah, look at that. I thought, this doesn't do it justice to actually see it with your own two eyeballs. Visually, stunning buildings, just stunning buildings, man. I was really impressed by the structure of their buildings that they got out there and everything. Very impressed. Here's a little bit more footage for you guys. A little bit more. This isn't gonna run as long. All right, so that's gonna, look at that. That is just, it's breathtaking. Obviously, as you can see, when we got out there, it was partly cloudy. Luckily, we did not get hit with any rain, but I cannot speak for what went down later on in the night. I don't think it rained. If it did, it might have been a little bit of crap sprinkles here and there, give or take. But the drive itself was about, I would say 14 minutes. Now remember what I said earlier, there's always context. I'm setting it up. If I'm telling you something, I'm setting it up. So we get there, it's about a 14-minute ride. Now, most people that are riding in a taxi, a Lyft or Uber, and they're riding for about 15 minutes, you're going, okay, I'm probably going to pay about maybe about $25. Okay, whatever. It's all good. And that's like including the tip. You feel me? 14-minute ride, $50. $50. And the way we paid for it via swipe, because he was like, how are you paying? Are you guys going to pay cash? You going to pay a credit card? We're like, we're going to pay credit card. He's like, oh, okay, cool. So he bust out his little, I said swipe, Square. Forgive me there, Square. He bust out his little adapter thing for Square so that you can swipe your card and all of that. And yeah, best believe when me and my wife got out of that joint, we were like $50 for 14 minutes. That's a crock of bullshit. You got to be kidding. So after we were done, with that, you learn the hard way. After that, like, we didn't care. Only thing that was important to us at that point was, okay, we're here. Let's have some fun. Okay, now we just got to do the check-in process, and then we're going to be rocking and rolling. Wifey said this process usually takes an hour, maybe 90 minutes. We got there to the port at 10:22 in the morning. We were there until at least quarter to three in the afternoon. We were there, and it was just what the what. If you ask me in retrospect what was going on there, it was greatly understaffed. I cannot stress that enough. This is some of what you saw here. I mean, long lines. I mean, what I captured really does not do it justice, but I mean, it was lines on top of lines on top of lines on top of lines. It was ridiculous. I'll play that one more time. You guys can't see it. But if you look over from where this guy is with this burgundy hat, and, pretty much over on the right. So what's going to be your respective right? There was actually another wraparound line that you sadly weren't able to see. It was ridiculously lined. And from some of the people that I was speaking to, they pretty much have been waiting in line. They started forming the line actually as early as 6 a.m. is when people started getting in line. I don't know exactly when the doors had started opening up. If you were to say to me 9 or maybe 10 o'clock, okay. But from those I had spoke with, some had been waiting in line since 6 a.m. And even at that, those that felt they were going to be getting a nice, good early start, getting in line at 6 a.m., they had still experienced quite a lengthy wait time. There were even those after we had checked in that got there around 2 in the afternoon. And for some, they weren't able to get on the ship until damn near 8 o'clock at night. I BS you not. So all of this, when it's all said and done, it was greatly understaffed. They did not have enough people working the lines. They did not have enough people, as far as I was concerned, helping out with the check-in process. And which brings me to this other point. There was so much miscommunication that was going on. Miscommunication out the ass that you guys would not believe. Now, what do I mean by that exactly? I'll give you an example. So when we got in contact with Sixth Man told us, straight up, hey, look, you guys got to get a COVID test, at least a couple of days before the cruise. And we're like, really? Is this totally necessary? They're like, yeah. But we're like, well, we got our COVID vaccination cards. They're like, yeah, we understand that, but we need to get a test at least a couple of days before you come here, just so we know everything's on the up and up. But at the same time, there is going to be a on the spot rapid test that's going to be done. Like, well, wait a minute. If we're going to get a rapid test, then, and it sounds confusing, right? But from what we were told by Six Man was, look, as long as you get your COVID test at least 3 days before the cruise, you won't have to go through the COVID test because you already have done it. So you'll be able to bypass that phase and just pretty much go right to check-in. So we're showing our credentials as far as, okay, this is what we did, you know, boom, 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 boom. And by the way, poor internet access. There were so many of us that were struggling to get a signal so that we could go into our phones and show people, hey, look, here's the screenshot. Here's our test. You know, we're good. We did take it and everything. And a lot of people had to sadly go outside to try to get a signal so that they could log into their healthcare provider to take a screenshot of the recent COVID test that they got, you know, so they could move along and everything. It was crap. It was crap. So after we showed proof that, no, we went like just a couple of days ago, here's our results. Somehow it was a case where, okay, great. Now we got to take another test right there on the spot. My wife was starting to get a little bit frustrated here, and she started talking to the people there at CVS, because CVS were the ones that were doing the rapid tests and everything. Oh my God, a horrific story too. I didn't share this in the written up review, the full written up review that I posted over at the 411 Mania website. But there was one woman that had this horrible experience with the instant, you know, rapid test there. Long story short, the person that was administering the test, you know, on behalf of CVS and everything, stuck the little nose swab so far up this woman's nose that she was busting up blood just everywhere out of that one nostril. And homegirl had the nerve to try to take another swab and go into the other nostril, and homegirl was like, no, once is good enough for me. I will do this one. You know, it's like, oh my God, it's like, how do you go that far up where you're making a person bleed that bad? I mean, just crazy. But in that particular section, it was definitely understaffed, and there was no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that, because you've had this vaccine now that's been out since December of last year, you know, and it really should have been boom, 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 boom. Right now, I will say this, full disclosure: Norwegian Cruise Line, 6-man, Chris Jericho, all parties involved, they did not like the way this was handled. So to make up to everybody that had experienced this, everybody, didn't matter what time you checked in, everybody had got a $100 credit on their account. It was already there. You didn't have to do anything. I mean, you literally could have just turned on your TV and look at your account that way. It's kind of cool how they had that set up, by the way. You just log in and go to the channel, go to the Norwegian Cruise Line channel, and you could pretty much look at your inbox. You could look at your account information, see how much credit you've basically spent so far on the cruise and everything, and see all the transactions that you've done since you've been on the cruise. And sure enough, there was the credit right there. The credit actually came in the very next day. So a little bit over 24 hours later, we all had got memos and everything. Now, here's what was really cool. And I don't know if most people had realized this that was on the cruise. Let's say you're on the cruise, right? Let's say you're with your significant other. If you're thinking, oh, cool, I got $100 credit. No, because, you know, each head, the way this cruise works, it's not just one person. Oh yeah, I'm bringing no, both of you all pretty much have your own respected accounts, although it is tied to that one room. You feel where I'm coming from? So, you know, basically, long story short, you know, if there were two of you, you know, sharing a room, both of y'all had got $100 credit. So I thought that was kind of cool how they redeemed themselves and everything. One thing that was also pretty cool was we did get to see this is what I'm talking about. That's Peter Avalon right there, by the way, that had just went past. I can't remember who those cats were, but it was funny. Yeah, Marco Stunt. That was Rebel with the hat there. There's Will Hobbs right there. There's Will Hobbs. People were like, Hobbs! Hobbs, and he just kind of, you know. I got a funny Will Hobbs story too. I don't know if he realized this too. I'm sure this will get back to him somehow. I got a funny Will Hobbs story. I was on the deck 12. I was at the Garden Cafe and I was getting some food, and I had like the late night munchies or whatever. And I run into Will Hobbs as I'm getting ready to get on the elevator. And my hands are so full, and I say to Will Hobbs, I say, could you please press blah, blah, blah for me? And, you know, all I heard was, you know, it's kind of like a grunt or whatever. And, you know, I'm looking at the food, and I'm trying my best to balance it. And then I look at the buttons. I'm like, oh, 9's not pressed. And I ask again, I say, hey, can you please hit blah, blah, blah for me? And he goes, oh, this ain't going up. He's like, shit. And then he immediately got off the elevator, and I just stood there. I'm like thinking to myself, motherfucker. And so I'm struggling with my elbow. I'm trying to hit the damn button without dropping my food, and luckily I was able to do it, right? But I just was like, that's some cold shit, Will Hobbs. How you gonna do a brother like that, man? Brother's supposed to stick together. But there's your funny Will Hobbs story right there. And what's this next video here? I'll show you guys that later. So that was the whole experience. You know, after we you know, finally had checked in on day one, we were so drained, so freaking drained by all of it. We just went on ahead, grabbed a bite to eat. I'm gonna show you guys some more pictures now, by the way. I got a nice little slideshow that I can actually show you guys here. So let me load up the slideshow here. No, not that one. It's actually this one I want. Let's see here. Bear with me a second here, guys, because this is I'm kind of new to this, so need y'all to work with me here. I think I want this one, and I think you guys should be able to see it now. Yeah. So there's the wifey at the airport, and let's keep rocking here. I'm just going to go through this here, and I'll hide it when necessary. Yeah, we were on Southwest. All the stuff that you've been hearing about Southwest, it's true. It's true. It's damn true. I cannot stress it enough. If you can help it, stay the hell away from Southwest. All the stuff that you've been seeing from some of your favorite celebrities, athletes, entertainers, definitely wrestlers, all the complaints that you've been seeing the past couple of weeks about Southwest, yeah, it is living up to the hype. Seriously. I remember when we finally got home, it was so bad. Yeah, that's right before takeoff. That is me literally scared shitless, believe it or not. Yeah, scared shitless. But it was so bad that when we got home, we were on our way home, and when we finally arrived at the BWI airport, it's like beginning of Tuesday morning. And it was packed out the ass. Anybody that was at BWI late Monday night going into Tuesday morning, shout out to you. Shout out to you, because, man, it was packed like sardines at BWI. We arrived at BWI probably a little after 1 in the morning. I want to say a little bit after 1 in the morning. And it was really fucking packed and so bad. There's this one woman, it was a sister, and she screamed so loud. She said, "Southwest, can we go home, please, Southwest?" And you know, my wife was like, "What the hell was that?" And I told her. She was like, "Whoa, she actually said that?" I said, "Yeah, that's what she said." She's like, "Holy shit." So yeah, really bad, really fucking bad. So pretty much this was our finish line after going through everything with the long pat down lines with only 3 security guards, and you got to go through one doorway after going through this ridiculously long line just to show your photo identification, birth certificate, and or passport. After going through showing them your most recent COVID test. Okay, that's good. Now you got to get another COVID test. After going through the check-in to finally get our Rager badge. Actually, no. Yes. We, at this point, once we got to this part right here, the welcome aboard banner, we finally had our badges and all that. We were ready to go, and it was like, yes, thank God, yes. And there's your man here, trying to muster up a smile. I'm finally happy that, got over that whole process. And look at that. Nice little cabin room that we had. Picture might not do it justice, but it was a little small, but for a couple, and couples are usually intimate anyway, this was actually fine for us. And I tell you what, the level that we were on, there was a decent amount of celebrities. By the way, I got to give a shout out to the customer service that we had on this cruise from the standpoint of housekeeping. Definitely the people that were feeding us, because a lot of the places that you could eat, the food there, it was all complimentary, meaning it was free. You didn't have to pay for anything. There were some restaurants, though, like there was this one sushi place where, after certain foods on the menu that were free, you then like, oh, I want this. Well, that was extra, and definitely alcohol. Unless you had the unlimited package, you had to pay for alcohol as well and everything. But housekeeping, oh my God, man, the housekeeping was over the top, sincerely sweet. Always went out of their way to help us out. I got to give a shout out to one housekeeper in particular, and I'm sure a lot of you guys that was on the cruise, you were on my level. You probably know the name I'm getting ready to drop, but his name was Joey, Jowe. I think that's how you pronounce it, Joey. Joey was a sweetheart, man. I remember at one point I had came to the room and I had just missed my wife, and Joey was like, "Hey Lee, how you doing?" I'm like, I'm pretty good. How you doing, brother?" He's like, "Oh, I'm doing good. I'm just touching up your room." I was like, "Oh, don't worry about it." I was like, "Have you seen my wife?" He's like, "Oh, she just left like about 3 minutes ago. You just missed her." Okay. I'm like, "Did she say where she was going?" No. But yeah, she left about 3 minutes ago. I'm like, "Okay. Have fun. See you later." Like, thank you. They were so nice, the housekeepers, man. I sincerely, in all my travels, best experience I've had dealing with those working in the hospitality industry, where it was just on point. So I loved it. Let's see here, another angle of the room here. There you go. Nice safe, nice little fridge setup. All that was good. Bathroom was banging. I loved the bathroom. Overall presentation, that was banging. Better look there of the can. Shower was actually pretty good. Hot water was not as hot as I would like it, but it was fairly decent. Look at that sink. That sink is on point. Sink is on point. It's good shit, man. It was good shit. And look at this. Yeah, I thought this was crazy, man. First of all, I like the fact that we had some primo water available in the fridge. But you guys probably ain't going to be able to read the fine print. To basically enjoy one of these tasty beverages at $5 or $6 a pop. And then on top of that, there was a 20% gratuity fee, basically for restocking it. Yeah. I did not touch it. For those of you that want to know and you're interested, I did not touch them. I never did. I came close. So this was our first dinner that we had as we went to the Garden Cafe. And in everything that you guys can think of, they pretty much had it, man. Cheeseburgers, pizza, salad, fish, cookies, cakes, ice cream, bagels, sliced bread, baguettes, anything that you can think of, especially as far as American food goes, from the Garden Cafe up on deck 12. We ate there the most. And it was actually kind of cool seeing some of the talents eating there as well. I saw Caesar Bonini at one point. He ate up there. Kurt Angle and his wife actually ate up there as well. So there were quite a few talents that I actually saw that loved themselves some Garden Cafe as well. So it was nice to see. Actually, you know what? Bear with me a second here. Let me stretch that. Let me see if I can stretch that image out a little bit, because you guys aren't seeing the full the full image here. Let me see if I can stretch that out for you. There you go. There you go, guys. Yeah. Yeah, so it was pretty good. Actually, it was pretty good. All right, let's see what else we got for you guys here. Yeah, there's a better angle. Yeah, and this was another thing that was kind of a little irritating, but understandable because of what all had went down pretty much day one. But, you know, a lot of stuff had got changed around, even going into day two of the cruise. Day two was supposed to see a photo op with Kurt Angle, but the photo op had got pushed back to Saturday. And understandable that a lot of stuff from day one just got reshuffled around, scheduled to a later date, or got moved to Saturday because so many people did not get on the ship until late. Right down to the point, we actually were supposed to set sail around about what guys? I think for those of us that were on the cruise, I think we were supposed to set sail around 4:30, somewhere between 4:30 and 5 p.m. That ship did not finally set sail until I want to say about almost 10 o'clock, if not during the 10 o'clock hour. Because I remember at one point waking up going, oh, snap, we moved. What the hell? We're moving now? And because that was actually another thing that was kind of cool. One of the channels that you could turn to, it was a boat camera view, and you could basically see like the very top of the boat. It was like a bird's eye view. Basically, so like they're all right. So you know how you're on the very, very top of a boat on the cruise line, and pretty much it's where the captain and everybody, you know, usually is. They're at that respected level. And then normally you've got the pole that's there. Maybe there's like an antenna and some other stuff. Well, they mounted a camera at the very top of the pole, basically. As far as I know, we all could not access that level, but they mounted a camera like at the highest point of a pole. And it was a nice bird's eye view because you pretty much were able to see exactly where the boat was, if it was in motion and all of that. It was badass. It was pretty freaking badass. Let's see. So after I woke up, I said to wifey, hey, Jericho getting ready to do his thing. You want to go check it out? And she was like, nah, that's you. So this was the first Talk is Jericho show that they did for the night. And this one was pretty cool, actually. It was Chris Jericho doing a women's evolution panel. And he was talking with Medusa, Jazz, and Britt Baker. Awesome conversation. I loved it. I really, really loved it. Nice trip down memory lane, hearing Medusa's favorite matches, her getting into the business. Definitely the WCW moment there. Title in the trash can. What all happened. How it come about. Jazz particularly. I've been a fan of Jazz since I was a teenager. All right, I'm from that era of, yeah, China, fuck yeah, Jazz, you know. And it was nice to see Jazz get her props, man. It really, really was. It was also a great honor to meet her as well, as I had that opportunity to meet her during a photo op. So that was pretty badass. But the evolution, the women's evolution Talk is Jericho edition was really good. And here you go. Let me see what you guys are seeing. Is Jazz cut off here? Let me look here. No. You guys can actually see her. Yeah, it was pretty good. Britt Baker, I gotta say, I got a lot of respect for that girl, because for her to not only be a wrestler, but to have continued her education to get her dentistry degree, and on top of that, still be working for a dental practice. Ultimately, she wants to own her own practice, and she's still juggling wrestling at the same time because she loves it and everything. That is just, I respect that. I respect that game. I respect that hustle. Those are excellent traits that I always like in an individual. You know, somebody that's dedicated, hardworking, good stuff. Yeah, made it back into the room. One of the channels that they had, shout out to those of you that did turn your TVs on at some point. They had one channel called Prime TV. and they were just showing random shit. It was kind of cool. And this was a classic episode of The Honeymooners. It was the episode where Ralph pretty much told a news reporter that he's the king of his castle. You know, whatever he says goes. His wife listens to him because he pays the bills, so she needs to be a good little obedient housewife. Shout out if you remember that episode. But yeah, that was pretty good. And here we are at sea. And yeah, this was lunch 2. Yeah, this was lunch 2. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I know you guys like this one. Yeah, so we actually had a cool moment here where we got to do anything we wanted inside of a AEW ring. And it was so cool because as I was getting into the ring, I guess I had some serious swag going on or something, because when I was getting into the ring, the guy says to me, "Oh, you did that a little too well. Like, you know your way around the ring." And I just looked at him and I just kind of laughed it off, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I do know my way around the ring. You know, I did used to do a little bit of wrestling. It didn't last that long, but I did used to do a little bit of wrestling. I'm thinking to myself, but my wife could not fucking get in the ring worth a damn. She was struggling to get in the ring, and I just found that shit funny. It was so bad, like 2 people had to help her get into the ring, like get in and out of the ring, and I couldn't help but chuckle on the inside. I freaking loved it, man. Yeah, you could do anything you wanted in the ring too. This was, of all the nice little cool activities that you could do that maybe you know, you had to pay for, this was actually one of the ones that was the most affordable, because it was only $25 a head if I remember it right. So pretty badass, pretty freaking badass. And yeah, oh, I love this. This was, I think, was this deck 12 or was it 13? I think this was deck 13, but pretty much this is where Fozzy was performing on all of the nights. This is where the AEW wrestling was going down as well, that they have for tonight. There's my souvenir shirt that I had got from the souvenir store. Here's me playing around with my camera. I'm trying to get it set up to meet Britt Baker. It was actually Britt Baker. I'll get to that in a hot second. There's me with Jazz. Such a sweetheart, man. I've been one of her Twitter buddies a couple of years now. Not too long, but a couple of years now. And she was such a sweetheart. When she saw me come up in the line next, she was like, "Hey, what's up?" I said, "Nothing much." I'm like, "Man, I've been following your work for so many years. It's a great honor to, you know, finally be able to meet you and everything. Like, really appreciate your work." And she's like, "Oh, that means a lot." You know, and she actually hugged. She did not mind hugging and everything. And so I hugged her, and you know, after, you know, we posed for the picture and everything, you know, she said, you know, thanks for coming out. I'm like, "No, thank you, you know, like, thanks for the memories, like, you know, you totally kick ass." So, you know, and I sincerely meant that, because long before it was the cool thing to say, "Oh man, I'm all about women's wrestling," it's, you know, and now it's kind of like the cool thing to say. Man, me and my friends from back in junior high were like the first that were saying, "Yo, women's wrestling, what's up? You know, women can wrestle just as good as the men. They just need an opportunity." And we're like, "Look at this person. What's going on?" So it really meant a lot for me to be able to meet Jazz, and legit, no bullshit. Now, if I can just get her on the show, man, because she is like an elusive unicorn when it comes to interviews and all that. And let me take a pause right here, and I want to show you. Yeah, we'll go. Yeah, let's go right into that. So there's the joint with Kurt Angle. I'm trying to think what day was Kurt Angle was on Saturday. Kurt Angle was on Saturday, because originally it was supposed to be on Friday, and it ended up being pushed back to Saturday. Let me tell you about the Kurt Angle experience. There were definitely those that were very disappointed in the Kurt Angle photo op for a lot of reasons. And I'll tell you guys what I think. and this is from the heart. Look, some people were under the impression that for the $100 they were paying for the Kurt Angle photo op, that it also included an autograph session, that he was going to sign, one item while you were there to do the photo op with him. That wasn't the case at all. The $100 was just for a photo op. And in addition to that, that's just for one photograph. And so some people really weren't feeling that. Some felt, okay, that's a little steep because, man, I'm not able to get an autograph. What the hell? Other people are going, man, I've gotten more bang for my buck for $100 when meeting somebody. Hell, I'm sure a lot of you guys did the CM Punk at the Pro Wrestling Tees store a couple of years back. $80. That got you an autograph. That got you a photo. That got you an exclusive CM Punk t-shirt you weren't able to find anywhere else. So I'm sure, for different people, it's like, And the one thing that I totally understand where people were coming from was, man, how come Kurt Angle, isn't being more intimate in the photos? What the hell? These are not my words. These were the words of many people that I had spoke with, asking them about the whole experience and everything. I mean, it was really cool too, because you could just be minding your own business, getting ready to get in the elevator or whatever, and people just be like, hey, did you do, yeah, what did you think? Well, what did you think? And it was kind of like one of those type of deals. And, people were just being so, it was almost like you were just with extended family. You weren't being judged. Nobody was going to make fun of you. You were just able to, but the general consensus was people were just disappointed with the Kurt Angle photo op. You pretty much, and this was where it was probably weird for most people, you are instructed to use hand sanitizer. It had a little pump that was right there. You use a hand sanitizer before you met Kurt Angle. And as soon as you pretty much come from around the corner, Kurt Angle's right there. He's greeting you. He shakes your hand. And then pretty much the people that are, pretty much in charge of doing the photography, they pretty much tell you, okay, stand right here where the X is. Hey, you. Yes, you. Right. Yeah. Stay right here. We want you to stand right here where this X is. So this was pretty much, if you see a theme going on with all the photos of Kurt Angle, that is by design. And so a lot of people were just like, what the hell? The only thing that makes sense to me, and I don't see hardly, really nobody mentioning this point of observation, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was his mindset. The only thing that makes sense to me is maybe Mr. Angle said, wait a minute. Oh, wow. So people are getting off, huh? Because on Saturday from, 8 in the morning until about 4:30. No. Hang on. Yeah, I am remembering it right. Because Kurt Angle was in the evening. Yeah. So from 8 a.m. until about 4:30 in the afternoon, it was in the Bahamas, our ship. And once it was in the Bahamas, you pretty much, if you wanted to stay on the ship, you could stay on the ship. But if you wanted to disembark, do a little bit of sightseeing and everything, you could do that. And so my mindset is, okay, well, everybody that got on the cruise, we're in the clear. We got our COVID tests, we're in the clear. But once we got to the Bahamas, some people got off the ship. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Kurt Angle's mindset was, okay, well, not for nothing, some people have now gotten off the ship, and I've got young kids at home. I know I'm speculating. I'm just trying to help those that were a little bit frustrated with the whole Angle thing. Just kind of keep that in mind and everything. Sadly, we'll never really know. I mean, if you're asking me straight up, how did I personally feel about it? On the one hand, it's not every day you get to say you met a Olympic gold medalist, let alone a WWE Hall of Famer. I do wish that, there is a part of me that, I got to be honest, I did bring the big gold belt. Longtime listeners that know, I've got a big gold belt that's been signed by CM Punk and Sting. And I was, got to say, I was looking forward to the possibility of Kurt Angle signing it. I was pretty sure Kurt Angle was going to be doing an autograph session, and he did not. So it was like, wow. And then it was, okay, well, at least I got Chris Jericho. At least I'll be able to get Jericho's autograph. Jericho, the photo op, meet and greet and all of that, autograph, all of that stuff with Jericho, that was only available if you did the pre-order, if I'm not mistaken. And it was kind of like, wait, what? Right. So I know that kind of sucks, right? But I mean, it is what it is. Sorry if that's a little bit long-winded, but I definitely wanted to touch upon that point with regards to Kurt Angle. But overall, I still loved it. I thought it was, I thought it was cool, honestly, to be able to meet Kurt Angle there. Let's see. Let me show the next image here. There's a better joint for you guys from the in-ring earlier there. And then actually, let me rotate this. Sorry about that. Let me rotate this image here for you guys. This was one of Chris Jericho's newest creations, and I did not know anything about this band until I actually heard the announcement earlier on the PA system, as they were saying, hey, make sure, later on tonight, you guys come see Quarantine, Chris Jericho's band. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And basically, Quarantine, they've been doing their thing for about a year. They've got a couple of singles that's out there. Had no idea about this, too. But they are basically a Kiss cover band. And let me tell you, I dug it. I freaking dug it. I've always been a fan of Fozzy, got all their albums. So I was like, okay, what's going on with this Quarantine? And it was actually pretty damn good. Let me back up a second, though. Because before this had went down, and we were talking about Kurt Angle and all that earlier. So we did the photo op with Kurt Angle. Right before the Kurt Angle photo op, there was a Talk Is Jericho edition with Kurt Angle. That was pretty damn good. I actually have the audio recording of the entire joint. And if I can get the okay from Jericho and his people, I will definitely upload it to the YouTube channel and make sure it's not monetized in any type of way, because I don't want no issues with Jericho and his people. But I do have the Talk Is Jericho interview with Kurt Angle. So wide ranging. I mean, it was pretty much about some of Kurt Angle's favorite opponents. He talked about wrestling Eddie Guerrero, Bret Hart. Eddie Guerrero, Shawn Michaels, Brock Lesnar. I got my B's mixed up there. Sorry about that. Talked about what led up to his WWE departure, going to TNA/Impact Wrestling, coming back to the WWE. It was pretty good. True story. Hornswoggle. Right before Kurt Angle's joint began, we saw Hornswoggle, and poor Horny, he was looking for a place to sit, and I had a damn good seat. I literally was probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 rows from the main stage area. So I had a really good seat, and I felt bad for Hornswoggle because, nobody was trying to, it's Hornswoggle, let him come sit. Nobody was trying to cough up a seat, move around so that he could get a better vantage point. So he ended up sitting way across on this other side. It was like a funky little section. He might as well should have been just peeking from behind a bunch of boxes or a goddamn dumpster in an alleyway, because his vantage point, at least to me, his vantage point looked like it kind of sucked there. I felt bad for the dude, honestly. But then after the Talk Is Jericho, Kurt Angle photo op, me and the wifey had grabbed some dinner, and then afterwards we retired for the night. I'm trying to think. Was Saturday night? I'm pretty sure Saturday night. Yeah, you know what? Saturday night, now that I'm thinking about it, I had saw some AEW in-ring action. That was pretty good. I won't get into all the matches. You can pretty much check that out on the full written up review that I did over on the 401 Mania site. I'll have a link in the episode description and in the comment section and everything. But then afterwards, had saw a really fine, sexy ass little dance routine by these girls from Chicago called the Laudettes. And these were some fine ass, thick ass women, man. I mean, they were bringing that fire. I was impressed by these girls. I gotta tell you straight up, these girls, whew, that's all I gotta say. These girls were banging. Saw Fozzy after that. And then we went to go grab a bite to eat. And I remember at that point, I said to the wifey, hey, you want to go check out, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be some more, bands performing. And she said, nah, I'm actually pretty good. I'm just going to relax. Truth was, her ears were hurting from the Fozzy concert. So I pretty much was left to my own devices from there. And it was okay though, because I ended up seeing and there's Britt Baker. Let me adjust that image for you guys here. Let's see what I want. Transform, right? Yeah, transform. Actually, hang on. All right. Actually, let's try that again. Transform. There we go. I'm gonna try that again. Transform. Hang on here. Bear with me. This last rotation should do it for you guys. There we go. Britt Baker. The picture does not do justice. Britt Baker is gorgeous in person. She is gorgeous in person. She had lines out the ass. Seriously, the lines were ridiculous. I've never seen so many people. Let me tell you how long Britt Baker's line was. Britt Baker's line was so long that it pretty much damn near made a full circle around the ship. That's how long her line was. I've never seen so many people walk away from her line so disappointed, because there were so many people that were there to see her. And man, I must have said to my wife, I said, look, I'm going to go do this Britt Baker thing. And I'm like, what are you going to do? And she's like, oh, I'll probably go do a little sightseeing, maybe go check out the spa. And, I'm like, okay, all right, well, let's just meet back here, at the room, and, we'll figure it out from there. And so I went with probably about a half hour, maybe 40 minutes to go before it was officially time for the Britt Baker photo op opportunity. And the lines were just stupid. I ended up talking to this one guy that looked a lot like Kenny Omega. He said he was 25 years old, but he looked like a young Kenny Omega. He looked like a damn good Kenny Omega clone. Just shorter hair and everything. Even talked like Kenny Omega. Had the scruffy beard like Omega and everything. And me and him were going back and forth, just, talking about it and everything. But yeah, as we were talking the entire time, we just saw so many people that just were like, love Britt Baker, but damn, this is ridiculous. And they just were dropping, just left and right, dropping. I gotta admit, that line looked very intimidating. It looked very intimidating. I started to say, lost cause. But I was like, nah, man, like, come on, what else am I going to do, right? Like, let me go ahead, let me do this. So it was worth the wait. It was worth the wait. The way that they pretty much had set it up, I don't know exactly, because her joint did start on time, but there was just so many people. What are you going to do? As Kenny Omega Jr. has said to me, her line was nowhere near where it was on the last cruise where she cut the infamous promo, that infamous heel promo. And, she had like maybe about 100 people, maybe 150. But I would not be surprised if you told me the amount of people that were waiting for her this go round. I would not be surprised if you told me it was 300, maybe 375. I would not be surprised if you were to tell me that. And this is one of my favorite moments right here. This pretty much was the bookend to the cruise, getting to meet the Rock and Roll Express. Always have loved these guys. One of my favorite tag teams of all time. It was nice meeting them, man. I'm telling you, true story. I saw the Rock and Roll Express a couple of times during the cruise at the casino section of the cruise and everything. They actually had like a little casino area, and I saw them over at the blackjack table. And it was badass because let me tell you something too. I love blackjack, but I mainly love doing blackjack as a spectator. I love just kicking back and watching other people play. I know how to play it pretty good myself, but I mainly like just kicking back, maybe shooting the shit or just quietly watching. In this case, every time I was going to the casino area, I kept going over to the blackjack table and I was just watching people play. And a couple of times I saw the Rock and Roll Express over there. I almost want to say I'm like 50-50, but I believe I saw Jake Roberts at one point by the blackjack table. Shout out to those of you that were on the cruise. Maybe you can verify that for me. I thought it was Jake Roberts. The guy looked pretty damn close to looking like him. If that wasn't Jake Roberts, wow. Marco Stunt was playing blackjack as well. Let me tell you something. Rock and Roll Express and Marco Stunt, they are some damn good blackjack players. Seriously, they are some damn good blackjack players. But meeting the Rock and Roll Express, that was awesome. Wifey was in front of me, and it was funny because Robert Gibson, he was like, not Robert Gibson, Ricky Morton, he was, doing his little dancing, and he's waving at us and everybody else like, hey, how you guys doing? Y'all excited? All that. And when he sees my wife, he's like, hey there, pretty little darling, how you doing, sugar? And she's just all, she's giggling and she's like, I'm doing great, and it was nice and everything. And they're like, oh, you're from New York? Because she had a New York on, and she's like, no, I'm actually from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. You're like, oh, okay, cool. And I guess they overheard her afterwards say, hey, keep that phone. My husband's gonna need you to take a picture of him with that. And so Ricky Morton was like, oh, he's with you? And she's like, yeah, that's my husband. He's like, hey, sir, get on over here. How you doing? I'm like, hey, I'm doing pretty good. We're chatting and everything. And then Ricky was like, okay, everybody now, let's get in here. Let's do this picture. And so now we were able to do another picture where it's all of us. And originally my girl tried to bend over. I think she was trying to do, as I call it, the backyard go-go pose. And and Ricky was like, I started to howl in tears with laughter. But Ricky says, oh, no, honey, don't bend over. No, just stand up. And I was about to lose it, man, because I'm looking at her, I'm like, why are you getting ready to bend over, right? I mean, she's getting ready to hit one of them, she was getting ready to hit one of those, ass all up in the air. I'm like, don't do that. No. So it was nice hearing Ricky Morton. No, honey, don't bend over. You gotta bend over. Just stand up. I can't do his voice, but that was pretty freaking funny. But it was also meeting them. I hate that some of these pictures are the way that they are here. Give me a second here. There was a Irish pub restaurant. O'Shannon's, something like that. Great Irish pub. Had picked up some nice drinks right here. The one on the far right, that was actually a mudslide. The drink I had, it had like some 1800 and a whole bunch of other nice, yummy alcoholic shit that was in it. I totally fucked with that. And then that repeats itself. All right, so let me take that one off. So yeah, I mean, it was great. I saw Fozzy perform for the first time. I dug that. I always wanted to see Fozzy live, but something always came about. And I love checking out bands live in person, and to be able to see Fozzy perform live, man, I gotta tell you, Chris Jericho, and he really was the MVP of that cruise. He was doing everything. I mean, this guy was running around just the Chris Jericho shows, the Fozzy show, then he doing the quarantine show, then he did a Family Feud edition that he had hosted. I mean, this guy was just, and then he wrestled on the damn cruise. This guy was just a jack of all trades, doing any and every damn thing on that cruise. And again, I'm very attracted to people that have a good, strong work ethic. And Jericho just, this isn't me kissing his ass, none of that shit. I'm giving it to you as I see it, honestly, and I gotta respect that. I think anybody that respects another person's strong game and hustle will definitely agree, especially those that were on that cruise. That man was doing literally everything. Like, what wasn't this guy doing? Seriously, what was he not doing on that freaking cruise? I'm sure he was probably in on the whole business aspects as well, like when that whole mishap went down with everybody getting in on the boat late with the whole late check-in process and everything. I'm sure he had a hand in, yeah, let's go ahead, let's do the credits and all of that as well. Got to see a band by the name of by the way, in case I didn't mention it earlier, Chris Jericho's band, Quarantine, they basically are a Kiss cover band. And all the songs that they basically were playing mostly were Kiss songs. They did their first ever live performance as a band at the Jericho Cruise. So we were in for a really cool treat there. And they also had announced that they had put the final touches on a Quarantine album and that it's going to be released sometime before the year is out. So, you know, if you're big on the Fozzy and you just happen to check out some of the Quarantine stuff, you know, FYI, yeah, new Quarantine album, debut album, going to be dropping very, very soon. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll check it out. I'll definitely review it, let you guys know if that's something you should definitely go out of your way and check out. There was another band I checked out called the Nocturnal Affair. Pretty badass band from the Las Vegas, Nevada area. Think Typo Negative, Stone Temple Pilots, early stuff, like think around the core Purple era of Stone Temple Pilots. They got that combination going on, meets maybe a little touch of Pantera. Nice combination, great band. The drummer for the Nocturnal Affair, he is killer good. He is killer freaking good. Just seeing, let's go back to the slideshow here, because I do have some more stuff I can show you. I'll just show you guys a couple more, because I mean, I took, honestly, no bullshit, I took so many pictures. I've got tons of video that I haven't even shared with you guys yet, that at this point, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to do a little slideshow special that's going to come later on in the week. And I'm not going to be talking. I'm just pretty much going to let the slideshow play for itself here. But let me see if I can get this going here. This was actually a pretty cool moment, because while we were waiting for the AEW action to happen, we ended up seeing two freaking macho men, and it was badass because they did the infamous Mega Powers handshake, and all of us at the same time were going, whoa, when they finally had shook hands and all that. We were clapping. It was an awesome fucking moment, man. Awesome fucking moment. Saw some pretty badass costumes, man, but I would say that this was definitely my top favorite. There was also a Jesus guy. Jesus was actually walking around, and he was turning a lot of heads. I got a ball out of that. I gotta tell you, I got a serious fucking ball out of that. Just seeing Jesus doing his thing, blessing us with his presence. Yeah, there's some of the in-ring action I was talking about. There you go. Brian Cage, Christopher Daniels, Angelico, Isaiah Cassidy of Private Party right here. You guys don't even see Brian Cage. Let me, there you go. There's Brian Cage. We saw him walking around a couple of times too. What you see of Brian Cage on TV and in photos, it does not do justice. That dude is fucking huge. I mean, he is my personal opinion, he's bigger than Drew McIntyre. And you know Drew McIntyre is a big boy, especially if you've seen Drew McIntyre in person. He's bigger than fucking Drew McIntyre. Dude is fucking huge, man. Let's see here. I'll show you guys. Yeah, I took some pretty damn good picks, honestly. Sonny Kiss, Ricky Starks for the FTW championship. It's pretty good. It's actually a pretty damn good match. Will Hobbs at one point trying to interfere. Aubrey Edwards was real quick to throw his ass out. Sonny Kiss, damn good match. Damn good match against Ricky Starks. By the way, speaking of championship belts, I was blown, man. Apparently, they had at one point a bunch of Rockin' Wrestling titles at the shop where you could get, you know, anything triple whammy related, you know, photos from the Dark Order, things of that nature. Man, them titles, man, they disappeared so fast, it wasn't even funny. I told you guys earlier, I saw Cesar Bonini. I actually saw Peter Avalon. I think Peter Avalon was actually on our level. There's a couple of guys that was actually on our level. I ran into Peter Avalon in my corridor hallway as he was making his way to his room, I want to say. And I saw him and I said to him, "Hey, man, what's up with you, brother?" He's like, "Oh, nothing much." I said, "Hey, good match out there." He's like, "Thank you." He was good. He was pretty damn good. I gotta say, he was pretty damn good. Nice guy. Ryan Nemeth was pretty nice as well. I started to say something to Ryan, but he had like a circle of people that were around him, and you know, I wasn't trying to make him feel, because he kind of came off to me like he didn't mind talking, but he kind of wanted to be about his way already. So I just quietly kept it moving along, and you know, didn't want to try to bother him. Colt Cabana. Fans were actually chanting CM Punk during Colt Cabana's entrance. I felt so bad for the guy. Seriously, I felt really, really bad for the dude. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, this was an okay match. It was kind of quick though. Janet D'Ambrose, I think, taking on Abaddon. It was a pretty good match. Abaddon's gotten smaller, hasn't she? Yeah, I mean, she's gotten really, really small, man. I'm only going to show you guys just a couple of more images, and then we'll pretty much call it. Like right now, I'm seeing I got about 203 like total images. That includes videos. Like I see 203 items that I could show you guys. I'm already at 75. So let's just say I ended on 100. Is that fair? I think we'll just end it on 100. And as I'm showing you guys these images, look, I think the Cruise, you know, they just got to, going forward, they got to tighten up on the lines, especially the whole check-in process. They've got to really tighten up on all of those things. I know some people are going to be looking at the lineup for the Cruise, and they may say, "Oh man, this Cruise fucking, man, where's the stars? Where's the, you know, what the fuck?" And if you want my honest opinion, they were missing, and most of the people that I had spoke to, they agreed. There's one longtime listener of the RCWR show. I did not find out until after the Cruise was freaking over that they were on the Cruise as well. And had I known that, we would have been hanging out for sure. But even they had said, and they were pretty excited for the Cruise. They had a great time. But even they had told me privately that, you know, hey, yeah, it would have been nice if we would have gotten a Eddie Kingston, if we would have gotten a Moxley, if we could have gotten Adam Cole or the Young Bucks. Yeah, it really would have been nice had we got them. But maybe the next Cruise. right? Like, yeah, probably. But I thought for what they were able to put together and everything, I thought they did pretty good. Yeah, here was my vantage point pretty much during not only the Fozzy performance, but also when the AEW in-ring action was going down on, what was that Friday? I think it was it Friday night or was it Saturday? It was either on Friday night or Saturday night. My days are kind of mixed up. You guys got to forgive me. Yeah, I took some really good vantage point shots here of the band performing. It's pretty good. Let me see what you guys are seeing so far. Okay, so you got a little bit of cutoff there, but it's all good. I'm just gonna let it fly. You know, might not look pretty, but that's okay. As long as you guys are able to see it, that's the important thing here. So we got about 9 more images I can show you guys, and then, you know. But I would say, like, to anybody that's thinking about going on a cruise such as this, I would say, you know, do it. If you are an AEW fan, go for it. If you are a wrestling fan and themed events like this is up your alley, I would say go for it. Go for it. I would also throw in there, make sure you're adding a spending limit. You know, if you can, try to see if you can raise $1,000 spending limit. There were so many, you know, conversations that I overheard, and there were definitely people that I spoke with that were saying, man, you know, I went into this joint thinking I was only going to be spending this amount, and I've already hit my limit, and, you know, I can't do anything else on the cruise. So when that credit had kicked in, it was a blessing in disguise for some people that was already on a tight budget. But I think more events needs to be added to the cruise. I definitely would like to see a expansion for more podcasts being on the show, whether that be Jim Cornette. I know JR, and many people had told me this, including Wifey. JR originally was supposed to be on the cruise, but because of, you know, his personal health that's going on right now, you know, that's just, you know, it's not doom and gloom, but he's got a form of cancer that's, what is it, on his foot or his ankle or something like that. So it's kind of one of the reasons why we weren't able to get him and everything. But I definitely would say do the cruise. I would definitely say to you guys, do the cruise, but just keep in mind, like, honestly, for me, I hope going forward, they tighten up on the lines. They tighten up on the communications, especially with 6-man. I think, and many people will definitely agree with me that was on the cruise, I think it's so fucking stupid that every time you have a question, you got to go to the 6-man desk and you got to wait in this, you know, somewhat silly line just to ask your question, get the help. Heaven forbid you have another question that, you know, you need help with, because, oh shit, you know, you got to do the whole process all over again. It's freaking ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous. So that's a little blurry. There we go. Yeah, they got to tighten that up. They got to tighten that up big time, man. What else would I say as far as advice goes? I think really those are the main areas. So if you were to ask me to rate this experience overall, I would definitely give it a 7 out of 10. Oh my God, I didn't even tell you guys. Even when it came to the disembarkment process, you know, the process of getting off of the cruise, even that, there was miscommunication from that standpoint. And it was miscommunication from this position. We all get this memo that basically had told us, okay, you know, we want you guys to have a nice, smooth transition when it comes to getting off of the ship. Monday, we're going to be calling your respected levels at certain times. And they mentioned something about a color bar system. And we're kind of like, okay, well, that can't be our key cards, because everybody has the same colored key card to their respective cabins, right? It's just coded differently and all that, but we all got, the same color key card. So what the hell are they talking about? And the other thing that was, okay, what the hell? All we got in the memo was basically that stuff. And in addition, we were told, be ready to get off the ship between 8 and 9 a.m. or maybe it was 8 and 9:30 a.m. because originally anybody that was messing around with the TV channels and you went into the Norwegian Cruise Line channel and looked up your accounting information and all that, you saw that the departure from the ship was 4 in the afternoon. And I remember when I had shared that information with my wife, she was like, no, that doesn't sound right. No, my experience, hon, they usually kick you off in the morning. We're talking about half a day essentially being practically gone. It's like, that doesn't sound right. So she went to go check. And sure enough, it turns out, no. It ain't no 4 p.m. It's 8, maybe 9 o'clock in the morning after U.S. Customs come in. They do their thing. First they got to check the boat out, make sure nothing weird's going on. And then, once the boat's pretty much clear, then they can go through the process of checking everybody that's trying to get off the ship, make sure everybody has their credentials, nobody sneaking in on the cruise, basically, you know how it is if you traveled enough. So normally housekeeping would be knocking on your door a little after 10 a.m. We got a knock on the door. By the way, for those of you that's kind of curious, that's calamari right there. That's calamari. First time having that. It was pretty good, actually. We got a knock on the door at like just a little bit after 7 in the morning. Just a regular salad right there. And my wife answered the door, and she's like, oh, what's going on? There was a couple of on our side, and across on the other side were a couple of us that had, opened our doors, and we're like, hey, what's going on? Like, why so early? Thought we had like another hour or two. And basically it was, oh no, everybody needs to be out of their rooms as of right now. And the only place where you can go is in the common areas throughout the ship, and wait until the disembark process, is officially underway, then get in line for that. We're like, oh, okay. Now, luckily, and hopefully most people did it as well. Luckily, I had packed the night before. That way, all we had to do was just get dressed, and that was it. Yeah, this was at the Japanese restaurant. I don't know the name of the restaurant right now, but the waiter there was very, very nice, because I said to him, I want some alcohol. And he was like, I'm going to take good care of you. He's like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't really know. Like, do you have sake by chance? It's been a good minute since I've had some sake. And he's like, oh, yes, I've got sake coming up. So this little thing right here, I was able to get about 3 pulls out of this, believe it or not. I was able to get about 3 pulls. So essentially, I had 4 sakes. Yeah, I had 4 sakes. Loved it. I love my sake, man. Love my sake. Yeah, some good shit right there. Good shit. It look good, don't it? Some good shit right there. Some more quarantine. Good shit right there. I'm damn near done showing you guys all the images here, too. How long we been on the air now? Okay, hour 18. Let's go ahead. Let's burn through the rest of these. I don't mind. I like that one. That's a good picture. Oh, yeah. So at one point, 2 women actually threw their draws at Chris Jericho, yo. Oh, man, I thought that was hilarious as hell, man. He had got one pair of little like blue satin panties. And boy, it was from a big girl, too, man. It was from a big girl. Not huge, but it was from a big girl. And I think the bass player pretty much has slingshot them bitches across the other side. And then later on, there was a pair of some pink panties that came, and Jericho ended up putting that around the the neck of his guitar player here for quarantine. It was pretty funny, man. It was pretty funny. Yeah, that's a good one. This is my first time really seeing some of these images too, that I took from the cruise here. So don't think for a second that, you know, I've already looked at these and I'm continuing to show pictures, cause you know, it's cool. It's nice to be able to share with you guys the experience I had. Hopefully you're able to kind of live vicariously through me, for this little bit. If you had always, yeah, what's that cruise like? Yeah, I was thinking about doing that. Would love to do it. You probably can't tell, but this is a night picture of some of what I was seeing at sea. And I actually have a night mode feature on my phone. And there you go. Yeah, at night. Yeah, I like how it just kind of helps blow things up here. Some good shit. Some good shit here. Oshihans? Or Sheenans? Irish pub joint I was talking about earlier. So like they got one joint where you can see all the food that's free and then, you know, or complimentary as they're dubbing it, you know, but then you get to this part here, as you can see the drinks you got to pay for. And then there's like specialty food that you got to pay for as well. Good old wifey. And I think I ended up taking a picture too in here. Let's see. Yeah, I got my drink on real good on this one. The pretzel bites taste like somebody just basically tried to reheat them. And the cheese was pretty drippy. The carrot cake with walnuts in it, that was bomb. That was bomb. It was on point. It was on point. And then what was it? Was it Sunday night? Yeah, Sunday night we saw Fozzy perform again. So these are some of the pictures from that set. As it started to rain, they were able to finish their set and everything. And there was supposed to be a AEW, more AEW wrestling action. It was supposed to be the last wrestling show of the night. And sadly, what ended up happening, the rain got just a little bit heavier. And when it did, I saw the ring crew guys, they put up the tarp over the ring. You know, you're looking at that, you're going, okay, well, I guess there's not going to be any in-ring action, right? And we're kind of like, So we waited a couple of minutes and then we left. And we just assumed that, hey, if the wrestling was still going to be happening, they would announce it on the PA system. Because it was really starting to, those that were there, it was really starting to come down. But apparently they did do the show. They did do the show. So I was amazed at that. I guess it had stopped. And in case you couldn't read it right there, this was basically the memo that we were given about the $100 credit that I was mentioning earlier during the show. So pretty cool. Miami Airport. It's like, yay, finally, this was pretty much on the way going home. Styling and profiling here. This was still Miami. Yeah, sadly with Southwest, just to get back to DC, we ended up having to take a transfer. We had to take one plane to St. Louis, and then from St. Louis catch another plane going to BWI. You know, and I said to my wife, why did we get this set up this way again? She's like, because it was cheaper. Like, okay, but seriously, we're being tortured here. She's like, I know, but it's cheaper. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Fuck Southwest. That's all I gotta say. Fuck Southwest. I hear. Oh. Wait a minute. I'm glad I'm still going through this for you guys. All right, we got some content here. We got some bonus content. All right, nice. Nice. You guys are, I'm glad we're still doing this. Nice.
So anybody, how many people have been on the cruise before? So you guys know we always do a cover set and a classic set. So tonight for this show, it's all cover tunes and some of our more obscure songs for the hardcores, all right? Are you ready to have some good times tonight? All right, let's see if you know this one. We haven't done this one before. This is for you.
Yeah, their cover song night was badass. Nice, nice. All right, what else we got here? Let's see. This was 37 seconds. Nice, nice. All right, what else we got here? Nice. What else we got here? Let's see. What else we got here? Okay, what else we got here? See, I got more. If it's looking a little cropped, it's on purpose. FYI, it's on purpose at this point. You know, some people try to jack your shit and try to make it be their own. But what you guys are seeing, it's not the full composition, FYI. You can tell when because when you get the vertical, see what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was a nice little cool moment. All right, let's keep it going here. This was for Kurt Angle. Yeah. This was for Kurt Angle. So yeah, I had a pretty good seat. Let me pause it right here. Actually, let me go back because I want to point out something to you guys. Let me see. Let me go about right here. Okay. So when I was doing the Women's Evolution Talk is Jericho show, if you see, there's a bald head guy with glasses. I wonder if my cursor, I don't know if you guys can actually see what I'm talking about, but pretty much there's a bald head guy with glasses and there's about 5 empty seats next to his left. So if you just work your eye and if you just go to the left, go to your respected left, you'll see what I'm talking about. I pretty much had a seat right around there when it came to the first Talk is Jericho for the Women's Evolution panel. But as you can see, for the Talk is Jericho Kurt Angle one, As you can see, my seating was better, loads better. Let's see what else we got here. I think these next couple of videos is Kurt Angle.
I think I'm cute. I got the medals. I got the moves that makes them all tap out the angle stab, the ankle lock. Marty Jannetty still can't walk. I'm just a sexy cut. I'll make your ankle hurt. I'm just a sexy cut. I'll make your ankle hurt.
How's it going? How's it going? There's a drummer I'm talking about from the Nocturnal Affair band. Don't worry, I got something else with him. This guy was good. Let's see here. Good drummer. Damn good drummer. As you can see, I had a pretty damn good spot for quarantine. Yeah, they did Heaven on Fire, Heart of Chrome. All right, what else we got? Yeah, this was good. This was good. Nice. That was nice. I thought they were getting ready to play some fucking Motorhead right here. I thought they were seriously. Let's see. We got 3 more guys, 3 more, and that's pretty much going to be it. All right, 2 more. What's this one? All right, and we got one more, or is it 2 more? No, it's still 2 more. Hang on. I'm not gonna play this one since I rotated, as you guys can see. Oh yeah, This was at the St. Louis airport. Look at all those ants, man. Actually, no, this was at the Miami airport. This was actually the Miami airport. Just nasty. Look at all them fuckers. Look at that shit. At one point, wifey came to me and she was like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, I'll tell you in a little bit." And she's like, "Oh, no, seriously, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'll tell you in a little bit." And once I got done recording, she's like, "What was going on? Were there critters in there?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Ugh." And it was so weird because we saw a guy that was actually about to buy something from that vending machine, but either he heard what she said, or he finally at the last second he saw the freaking critters and was like, because we heard him, he said shit. And he went to the next snack machine. It was fucking hilarious, man. But that's it. So we ended up actually showing you pretty much all the stuff, at least from my phone. My wife took a lot of stuff. She's got some really good vantage points. A lot of her stuff even had far superior resolution and all that. So what will happen is later on this week, I will put together a nice little slideshow presentation. I'll try to definitely make it be like 15 minutes tops, like in and out, and I'll just combine everything. And you guys will definitely get a kick out of that. But yeah, you know, a 7 out of 10 for the cruise is definitely what I would give it overall. My flying experience, at least with Southwest, is all I gotta say. As I told wifey, yo, let's not do Southwest ever again. Let's do Delta or American Airlines, or hell, you know, we could take turns driving out there. Honestly, like, fuck that shit, right? And especially with the false advertising of no hidden fees, free cancellation, you know, free. Southwest is lying like a motherfucker. Like, So now, to those of you wondering, because I even had a couple of people reach out to me and private message me, you going on the 4-leaf Clover cruise, Lee? You gonna do the next Jericho cruise? Because the next Jericho cruise is going to be happening March 14th through the 18th of 2022. And look, you don't need to be an insider. You don't need to be you know, it's honestly common sense. But for those that never really thought about it, and you're kind of going, wait a minute, why the hell they doing this cruise? But less than 5 months, they're getting ready to do, you know, honestly, when it's all said and done, this is just common sense. They are trying to get back on track to have this cruise be a yearly thing. You know, what happened in 2020, you know, they lost some revenue when it's all said and done. They significantly lost some revenue for 2020. So this is just them, you know, just pretty much. And look, if it helps you, you know, some of the folks that I did speak with, you know, that's kind of like the mindset why the announcement was made and everything. So I have a feeling, and usually my gut instinct is pretty on point. I have a feeling that this next cruise is going to be pretty loaded up. And usually my gut instincts are pretty accurate. So if you are thinking about doing this cruise, I would say do it. Take advantage right now if you got some money laying around, or you're about to have some money in a couple of days, because you're doing a pre-show, a pre-order thing right now. And the pre-order package that they have right now, if you pre-order, you get a really cool flag banner that you can either have autographed or hang it up in your man cave or whatever. And that also gets you an opportunity to grab a photo op with Chris Jericho. So FYI, and those are pretty limited. I don't know what the cap number is. I know for one of them it was 250, but, and I will say this before we get ready to roll out, many of us that were on that cruise, when we found out about when the next cruise was coming about, we all groaned, because it was like, man, such a short turnaround, especially for those of us that were very interested in, me, I'm on the fence right now. Because for me, it's like, what's the lineup? I don't want to just fully commit and I don't know the lineup. What's the lineup? Others were like, yo, that's too short of a turnaround. Can't do it for this amount of money, paying for this cruise, and then to come right back less than 5 months later to do it all over again. Like, I'm out. And to the point, one constant theme that kept being brought up, man, there's so many new people at the cruise as opposed to the OGs. And, I don't know how you explain that, honestly. 'Cause some of the people that I were talking to, that have done all the cruises since the very first one, they were like, the OGs, it's getting less and less and less. And I think, honestly, when it's all said and done, it's not every day you get to say, man, I was on the very first. And then, hey, man, I came on back for the second one. Hey, man, I did the third one. I can kind of understand the trajectory of new heads versus the old heads. Because the old heads, they're probably, you can only speculate, but there's probably many reasons why they decided, okay, yeah, I'm out. Whereas the new ones, most likely, see the experiences that others had, hearing other people's stories. They want to be part of that. They want to take advantage of it and everything. And I see a question about how much did the cruise go for. It really depends. Honestly, it really depends on what your respective budget is, how much, you think you can afford for the cruise and all of that. I'm not going to put a number out there as far as how much me and the wifey spent for the cruise, but I will say this. It was damn near $3,000 for what we did. Others paid even more. So, for example, the Jericho VIP package alone, from what we ended up understanding, because we were trying to figure out, hey, how come we're not getting any Chris Jericho photo opportunities? Like, we've had this cruise locked since 2020. What the hell? And basically, because I think they had like a VIP package or something like that for Chris Jericho, if I remember correctly. I'll have to rely on the folks that actually took advantage of the Jericho stuff to chime in. But I remember when we spoke with Six Man about it, they pretty much were like, oh, yeah, you can no longer get that. That was only available for blah, blah, blah time. And it was basically like an extra $2,000 on top of how much you have to pay for the actual cruise. And I remember saying to wifey, man, for an extra $2,000 just to freaking meet Jericho, your ass better be in the jacuzzi with him, and y'all better be talking about hockey and football and some shit like that. But look, some people that actually were part of the pre-order were able to take advantage of the Jericho VIP. They told me it was awesome. They had a great time. They said it was awesome meeting Jericho. There was like multiple pictures that they posed with for Jericho. Some people were able to give special little gifts that they either made or got just for Jericho. I heard he was really, really fucking cool. And I'll say this about Jericho. For those that do decide to do the Jericho VIP packages and all that, Jericho, he strikes me as somebody that goes out of his way to really know who's who. And what I mean by that is there were many OG fans at the cruise that, when he was performing or he was doing Talk is Jericho, some other stuff, he'd be calling them out, so it's kind of nice to see that, oh, wow, he kind of knows who some of these people are and all that. And not to mention, Jericho, another thing I got to say about Jericho and a few others of the talents that were on this cruise. I got to say this before we definitely roll out, but I want to end it on a high note. I really love the fact that a lot of these talents, they were walking around just like everyday Joes, just like us. And I always believe in, don't act like a mark. Don't, treat them the way you want to be treated, with respect, but treat them like everyday people. But yeah, you do got to have in the back of your mind, their face is pretty recognizable. But I love the fact that people were just, some of these wrestlers were just walking around, and where there were others, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there were others, because this is not a bashing session, that's why. But there were others, you're like, hey, where's so-and-so? I remember seeing them, and you never saw them again. You never saw them again. You're like, what the hell is going on here? Right? Damn, were they even part of this show? Damn, did they even do the autograph signing? It was kind of like one of those type of deals. So shout out to those that really were, no, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to mingle, and y'all know exactly who you are, especially some of you that I had an opportunity to, chat with very briefly, things of that nature. So yeah. I hope I gave you guys as much info as possible. Otherwise, come at me with any questions. Those of you that actually did the cruise, definitely would love to hear from you guys. You can tell me your highs. You can tell me your lows. You can tell me if you agree with a lot of the points that I had brought up. And there is the link in the chat there for my article that I did at 411 Mania that you guys could read and all of that good stuff. Hey, look, if this helped you out tremendously, you enjoyed this, as I always tell you guys, word of mouth, man. Smash the like button. When you do that, it really helps put more eyeballs on the product, on the channel, especially as far as recommendations go and all of that good stuff. It helps out a great ton. And you can also get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. If the stream was experiencing any type of lag, drop frame rates for tonight, apologies. I will definitely see if I can work out some kinks and have things up and running much smoothly by the time we get to our next show, which is going to be Thursday night, October 28, 2021. We will be doing a special Thursday night edition of the RCWR show. We'll be on at, let's say 10:15. Let's say 10:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk Raw. We'll talk NXT. We'll talk Dynamite. We'll preview Rampage. I'll react to the news that came about with Ring of Honor. I'm sure many of you guys had saw that. I'll have some more things to say, or because I haven't commented on it yet, but I will definitely talk about the release of Greg Hamilton from the WWE. So it's a nice loaded up show that we got planned for you guys. So definitely tune in and check that out. Until next go round, wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. And I will see you guys next go round. Y'all take care.